What is the product of 2.8 times 10 to the power of 3 and 9.7 times 10 to the power of 3? So step number 1, convert all numbers to scientific notation. This is nice. They're already in scientific, so thank you for that. Number 2, we want to multiply the coefficients. And just a reminder, the coefficients of the numbers before the power. So right here, this is a coefficient of 2.8 and a coefficient of 9.7. We're simply going to multiply these over here to the side. So I'm going to put 2.8 multiplied by 9.7. And although the decimals are lined up, we don't need to have them lined up. We just need to account for all the decimal places when we get to the end. All right, so 7 multiplied by 8 is 56. Regroup the 5. 7 times 2 is 14 plus 5 is 19. Now I'm going to multiply from this 9's place. Actually, let me switch over to red for this. I'm going to add a 0. 9 times 8 is 72. Regroup the 7. 9 times 2 over here is 18. And then 18 plus 7 is 25. And now let's add these together. So I've got, let's switch over to black for this. 6 and 0 is 6. 9 and 2 is 11. Regroup. 1 plus 1 is 2. 2 plus 5 is 7. And just bring down the 2. Now we do have 2 decimal places above here. So we're going to move the decimal 1, 2 places back into that to get our answer. So that's going to be 27.16. So switching back to green, I'm going to put 27.16. And now what we're going to do is I'm going to switch over to blue, and we're going to multiply the powers. So 10 to the power of 3 multiplied by 10 to the power of 3. Well, when you're dealing with multiplication and you have the same base 10, we're simply going to add the exponents. So I'd write 10 to the power of 3 plus 3 like that. And 10 to the power of 3 plus 3 is going to be 10 to the power of 6. So I'm just going to put 27.16 times 10 to the power of 6. And then step number 3, combine the coefficient and powers, which we did in scientific notation. And the hint is that we want to go ahead and use Lars. In other words, if we move the decimal left, we add to the power. If we move it right, we subtract the power. So in this case, I actually need to move the decimal 1 place to the left right here. So that's going to be rewritten as 2.716. Remember, you only need 1 digit to the left of the decimal, and this digit has to be either a 1 through 9. Okay, but now if we did move left again, if we move left, what we're going to do, and we did move left, we're going to have to add. So I'm going to come up to here, and I'm just going to put 6 plus 1. Move left, add 1. So I'm going to put times 10 to the power of 7, and that's it. And I think that's question number 9. Let's go to the last one, which is going to be dealing with division. Whenever we deal with division, I always like rewriting it as a fraction just to keep things organized. And it seems like a lot of textbooks and problems always write the number kind of in this format. So I'm going to put 1.35 times 10 to the power of 9 divide by 1.5 times 10 to the power of 4. So converting all the numbers to scientific, it's nice. They already had it in scientific. Number 2, we want to divide the coefficient and the powers. So again, the coefficients we're going to divide, and I guess we'll just start with that. So I'm going to convert this 1.5 to 15. In other words, I moved it 1 place to the right. And so then if I move that one place to the right, I'd have to move this 1 place to the right. So 1.35 is going to change to 13.5. And then just make sure that you bring that decimal up. That's really important right there. Okay, so 15 does not go into 1, obviously. 15 does not go into 13, but 15 probably goes into 135. And I'm not sure, so I'm just going to go ahead on the side here. I'm going to go ahead and try, I don't know, let's see, maybe 9 times. All right, so 5 times 9 is 45. Regroup the 4. 1 times 9 is 9, plus 4 is 135. So it actually worked out perfectly. Now here's the deal. If I did 8, it would be too small. If I did 10, it would be too big. So you're not going to get it perfect, but here's the deal. Show the calculations on the side to prove that you know how to do this without a calculator. So I'm going to come back over here. I'm going to do 9. 15 divides into 135 9 times. 9 now multiplied by 15 is going to give me exactly 135. And the nice thing about that is 135, subtract 135, it terminates. And so we're done. We can go ahead back over to here and I can put 0.9. That's the division between that. Now I'm going to switch over to blue, and again we're going to deal with the powers over here. So when we have 10 to the power of 9, divide by 10 to the power of 4. Remember, when we have the same base, we just subtract the exponents. So really it's 10 to the power of 9 minus 4. And that's going to simplify as 10 to the power of 5. So I'm just going to add the times 10 to the power of 5. Lastly, we want to go ahead and make sure that it's in scientific. So the decimal's in the wrong spot. So I'm going to move this one place to the right. So that's going to actually change to 9.0. But remember that when we're using Lars, and again, that's the mnemonic, just to remember to move the decimal, that if we move it right, we actually have to subtract. So if I come over here and I move it to the right, which I did, I would have to subtract an exponent right here. So that's going to be 9.0 times 10 to the power of 4. And that's going to go ahead and wrap up our tests. So hopefully you found these short videos helpful to review.